Alright, after solving the first two layers, you would end up in exactly four possible ways. And there can be other LO cells at the top, but I wanted to just focus on the cells I'm talking about. One of the ways, just pause the video and internalize like the four possible ways in which you can end up after solving the first two layers. And that is, one of the possible way is to have just a dot. Notice I'm completely ignoring the other cells and I'm only focusing on a dot. So these are the cells that will be constant basically after having solved the first two layers. So one possible way is to have a center dot. The other one is to have a 9 o'clock symbol. We'll get there in a second. And the other one is to have a horizontal line. It's completely possible that the yellow faces are there in the other cells as well, but I'm only talking about these four cases. The first case is the center dot, the second one is the 9 o'clock phase, and the third one is a horizontal line, and the last one is an L cross. In which case you can move on to the next step if you already have an L cross, because the objective of this step is to make an L cross. So okay, this involves just one sequence of moves, one algorithm, and you just get from one point to the other in a sequential manner, in a cyclic manner. So that to a sequence of moves are as follows. How do you get from the center dot to the 9 o'clock phase is as follows. Front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. There you go. You need to orient the cube in such a way that you have the 9 o'clock phase. Notice I ended up with something like this, but I had to rotate the cube just to a different orientation so that I have the 9 o'clock symbol. So we got from the center dot to the 9 o'clock symbol. And next we repeat the exact same sequence of moves again, facing the 9 o'clock symbol. Not exactly facing it, keeping the 9 o'clock symbol facing upwards. We repeat the same sequence of moves. Front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted. Once we have that, we have the horizontal line I talked about. And you do this exact same sequence of moves again. Front, one final time. Right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted, and you should be having the yellow cross by now. So in three sequence of moves, we got from one point to another. You could be lucky and you could actually have to do fewer set of these moves to actually get to the yellow cross. But understand that these are cyclic to one another, and you just need to repeat front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted to get from one point to the other. Like let's say you have to get from this to the horizontal line, you'll have to do that again, and then from horizontal line to the yellow cross, you'll have to do one more time. So that's it for this step. And for those of you who would like to minimize the number of these moves, let's say I want to get from this 9 o'clock directly to the yellow cross, and this is completely optional, so please feel free to skip ahead to the next step if you do not like to add on a few more steps to your memory. But for those of you who are interested, this is a slight variation of what I told, but it does the exact same job, in fact a little faster. But for a beginner it's absolutely not required. But anyways, how do I get from this to the yellow cross straight away instead of without having to go to the horizontal line and then to the yellow cross? So that is a slight variation of what I told. You just perform front, up, right, up inverted, right inverted, and front inverted. There you go. I directly went from the 9 o'clock thing to the yellow cross. I'll repeat that once again. I'll repeat that once again. So I have the 9 o'clock thingy, and how do I get to the L cross from here? I do a front, up, right, up inverted, right inverted, and front inverted, and there you go. I have the L cross. So that's it for this step. Let's go to the next step, which will involve completely solving the top face, the yellow face.